Hello student, so we will be doing our another chapter from the book Moment. So the name of the chapter is The Adventure of Toto by Ruskin Bond. So this is a humorous and adventurous story of a naughty monkey named Toto. Okay, so the writer's grandfather has bought the monkey from a Tonga diver for the sums of 5 rupees. So this story narrates the interesting mischiefs or naughtiness done by the monkey, and it has been narrated in a very interesting way. So I think you will enjoy this story. Grandfather brought Toto from a Tonga diver for the sums of 5 rupees. Tonga diver means the diver who ride the horse cart. Horse cart ko घोडा गाडीको driverलाई हामी Tonga diver भन्छौँ. Okay, it's a Hindi word. So the writer grandfather purchased a monkey named Toto from a Tonga diver by paying 5 rupees to him. Okay, the Tonga diver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. So the Tonga diver had tied the little red monkey into the feeding trough. Feeding trough means a large container for feeding animal. Okay, so he has tied the monkey in this container so that the monkey would not run. Alright, so when writer's grandfather saw the monkey, he had a desire to add him to the collection of animals which he had in his zoo at home. Toto was a pretty monkey. So the writer gives a description of a Toto. Okay, so that monkey was a pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief beneath deep set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were pearly white, were often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. Anglo-Indian ladies भनेको a person related or related to both India and England. India and England, yeah. England, Britain र इन्डियाको जो दुईपट्टि नै रिलेटेड हुन्छ त्यो मान्छेलाई we call it Anglo-Indian. So the narrator is saying that he had a very bright eyes, okay, so which were full of mischief. So his eyebrow were deeply set on his face. His teeth were like pearls, है मोती जस्तै उसको दाँत थियो भन्दैछ. And many ladies belonging to Anglo-Indian community got scared when they saw his teeth, which were displayed when he smiled. Right? But his hand looked dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Many years. So Toto's hands were very dry and wrinkled. Wrinkled भनेको चौडी परेको थियो हैन. So it seems like a pickled vegetable. Pickle भनेको हैन, जुन अचार जस्तो जो एकदम सुकेको हुन्छ त्यस्तै उसको हात देख्थ्यो भन्दैछ. Yet his finger were quick and wicked, and his tail, while adding to his good looks, grandfather believed a tail would add to anyone's good looks, also served as a third hand. So he has a long tail. उसको एकदमै लामो टेल छ, अनि the writer's grandfather thought that the tail added to the good looks of the animal. है अनि यो चाहिँ उसको ग्रान्डफादरको एउटा विश्वास कि एनिमलको पुच्छर छ भने के हुन्छ एकदम एनिमल एकदम राम्रो देख्छ है. अनि Toto has a third hand that serves as a Toto has a tail that serves as a third hand. He could use it to hang from branches, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hand. So he could use his tail for hanging in the branch. Okay, branch मा यसो झुन्डिनुलाई he can use his tail. अनि त्यो मात्रै नभएर it was also capable है scooping भनेको lifting अथवा कसैलाई उगाउनु हैन, हामी नेपालीबाट उगाउनु भन्छ. So he used to lift object with which were beyond his hand. उसको हातले जहाँ भेट्दैन त्यहाँ चाहिँ उसको टेलले कुनै पनि खानेकुरा डेलिसियसी भनेको कुनै पनि खानेकुरालाई उगाउनमा सहायता गर्थ्यो. Grandmother always first when grandfather brought home some new birder animal. First means to feel concern, distress or annoyance. झिझेट मान्नु अथवा रिसिनु. So the grandmother चाहिँ जहिले पनि grandfather used to bring some new bird or animal उसको घरको जूमा ल्याउँदाखेरि his grandmother used to always get irritated or she used to get angry. So it was decided that Toto presents should be kept in a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. So the narrator and the grandfather they decided कि हामी चाहिँ ग्रान्डमदरलाई जबसम्म उहाँको गुड मुड हुँदैन तबसम्म राम्रो मुड नभइन्जेलसम्म हामी विल नट रिभिल द प्रेजेन्स अफ टोटो अथवा प्रेजेन्स अफ मङ्की इन द होम भनेर उनीहरू दे डिसाइडेड. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely, or so we thought, to a big fasten into the wall. Right? Closet means a cupboard or daraj. So the writer and his grandfather, so they decided to secure little Toto in a cupboard in writer's room. Right? And in order to be sure that Toto does not accept है भाग्दैन नभागोस् भनेर चाहिँ so they put they tied him in the hook in the wall. Peg means hook. Okay, fasten भनेको बान्नु टोटो नभागोस् भनेर उनीहरू कपडभित्र हाल्यो अनि त्यहाँ एउटा काँटी ठोकेर चाहिँ ऊ नभागोस् भनेर उसलाई त्यहाँ डोरीमा बान्दियो भन्दैछ. A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the walls, which has been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. So after a few hours, the narrator and his grandfather came back to release Toto, right? The monkey release until they came back, right? And when they came back, they were very much surprised किनभने त्यो जुन भित्तामा है जुन भित्तामा अर्नामेन्टल पेपर है डेकोरेटिभ पेपरले जुन मजाले ग्रान्डफादरले चुज गरेको अर्नामेन्टल पेपर छ अथवा डेकोरेटिभ वाल पेपर चाहिँ त्यो जुन टालेको थियो त्यो चाहिँ एकदमै च्यातेर के थियो इट वाज नेकेड है नेकेड एज ब्रिक एन्ड प्लास्टर मात्रै है प्लास्टर देखेर चाचुत बनाएको थियो भन्दैछ. द पेक इन द वल हेज बिन रुइन्ड फ्रम इट्स सकेट एन्ड माई स्कुल ब्लेजर विच हेज बिन ह्याङ्गिङ देयर वाज इन श्रेड. यहाँ चाहिँ के हुँदैछ भने नेकेड मिन्स अनकभर्ड, रेन्ज भनेको ब्रोक, सकेट मिन्स एट्याचमेन्ट, श्रेड भनेको कट इन्टु थिन स्लाइसेस. सो त्यति मात्रै नभएर जुन पेज छ जुन हुक छ वालमा त्यो चाहिँ के भएको थियो त्यो चाहिँ भाँचेको थियो. ओके, सो फ्रम इज सकेट है सकेट भने त्यो एट्याचमेन्ट जुन लगाएको छ सकेटबाट त्यो हुक भाँचेको थियो अनि उसको जो नरेटरको स्कुल ब्लेजर अथवा स्कुल कोट छ त्यो चाहिँ जो चाहिँ त्यहाँ झुन्डाएको थियो त्यो चाहिँ सबै चाकचुक भनेर टुक्रा टुक्रा भएछ. आई वन्डर वाट ग्रान्ड मदर वुड से है अनि त्यति बेला चाहिँ द नरेटर चाहिँ अब आई वन्डर है अब ग्रान्ड मदरले बोजूले चालपान के भन्ने. बट ग्रान्डफादर डिड नट वरी हि सिम प्लिज विथ टोटोज पर्फर्मेन्स है. तर यसो ग्रान्डफादर हि डिड नट वरिड है अनि उसको यसो हेर्दाखेरि हि वाज भेरी ह्याप्पी विथ टोटोज टोटोको त्यो बाँदरको पर्फर्मेन्स अथवा बदमासी देखेर चाहिँ हिज ग्रान्डफादर वाज प्लिज्ड. He is clever, said grandfather. Given time, I am sure he would have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into rope and made his escape from the window. So the grandfather भन्छ he is a clever, ऊ चाहिँ एकदम चलाक रहेछ. गिभन टाइम अथवा यदि हामीले उसलाई अलिकति ढिलो भएको अथवा अलिकति समय दिएको भए एकदम आइएम स्योर कि उसले चाहिँ जुन तिम्रो कोट छ टुक्रा टुक्रा बनाएको छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ के बनाएर दोरी बनाएर रोप बनाएर he would have escaped from the window है एकदम दोरी बनाएर विन्डोबाटै ऊ भाग्थ्यो होला भनेर his grandmother is saying to the narrator. His presence in the house still a secret. Toto was now transferred to the big cage in the servants' quarter, where a number of grandfather pets live very sociably together. Sociably means in a friendly manner, right? And even the उसको presence still they haven't told their grandmother. Grandmother अझै भनेको छैन अनि त्यहाँ बिस्तारै कुरा टोटोलाई चाहिँ त्यो रुमबाट निकालेर it has been transferred to the big cage है सर्भेन्टको घरमा सर्भेन्ट नोकरहरू बस्ने क्वार्टरमा त्यो बिग केजमा हालेछ अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ ग्रान्डफादर एज अ पेट है एकदम उसको कलेक्सन रहेछ मेनी पेट्सहरू त्यहाँ पालेछ जो चाहिँ उनीहरू एकदमै फ्रेन्डली दे लिभ टुगेदर. So what are the pets भन्दा चाहिँ a tortoise, a pair of rabbit, a tame squirrel, and for a while my pet goat है अनि त्यो भित्र चाहिँ there was a tortoise, there was a pair of rabbit, a tame squirrel अनि a pet goat. But the monkey would not allow any of his companion to sleep at night. तर त्यो जुन बाँदरले ठर्यो है त्यो बाँदरले चाहिँ राति चाहिँ कुनै पनि कम्पेनियन फ्रेन्ड है त्यो अरू साथीहरू जुन टोटोइजहरू छ ऱ्याबिट्सहरू चाहिँ यिनीहरूलाई राति सुत्नै दिँदैन भनेछ सो grandfather who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saranpur decided to take along with him है अनि बेसी बदमासी भएको कारणले गर्दा सो नेक्स्ट डे grandfather has to leave to Dehradun. He had to go to Dehradun in order to collect his pension in Saranpur. So, उसले भने होइन I will take the Toto along with me. अथवा यो बाँदर मसँगै लान्छु भनेर he decided. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterward. So the writer was very disappointed, right? Disappointed because he could not accompany his grandfather and Toto on his trip. But later, so grandfather told him, narrated the happening of the trip. Right? The trip मा के भयो भनेर त्यसको विषयमा नरेटर आफ्नो grandfatherले भन्यो भन्दैछ. Okay, a big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. So the Toto has a special bag. Right? So it was made of strong material, right? Canvas भनेको त्यो हाम्रो त्यो पुरानो झोला हुन्छ त्यो लुगाको है कपडाको झोला हुन्छ त्यसलाई क्यानभस भनिन्छ त्यो कपडाको झोलामा सानो किट ब्याग भनेको स्मल ब्याग सानो किट ब्याग झोलामा टोटोलाई हालेको थियो दिस विथ सम स्ट्र एट द बटम बिकेम हिज न्यू अबोर्ड है अनि त्यो ब्यागको भित्र फेदमा चाहिँ एक दुईवटा स्ट्र भनेको घाँसहरू हालेको थियो अनि दिस ब्याग बिकेम हिज न्यू अबोर्ड भनेको होम ओके वेन द ब्याग वाज क्लोज देयर वाज नो एस्केप है अनि त्यो ब्यागमा सायद मेबी देयर वाज अ जिपर सो वन्स द जिप लगाएपछि टोटोलाई भाग्ने चान्स छैन Toto could not get his hand through the opening and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. So the Toto could not get his hand. है उसले बाहिर हात निकाल्न सक्दैन त्यो खोल्नै सक्दैन ब्याग अनि त्यो ब्याग पनि क्यानभस ब्याग पनि यति साह्रो त्यो लुगाको ब्याग यति साह्रो स्ट्रङ थियो कि he could not bite and come out of the bag. His effort to get out only had the effect of making bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air, an exhibition that attract a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway platform. है अनि उसको जुन इफर्ट छ बाहिर निस्किनु उसको इफर्ट छ त्यो ऊ सक्दैन बाहिर बिकज इट्स भेरी स्ट्रङ यु क्यानट गेट आउट अनि त्यो गर्दा चाहिँ भित्र उचाल्न गर्दा चाहिँ त्यो के हुन्छ द ब्याक वाज रोलिङ है अनि घरिघरि त्यो फ्लोरमा रोल गर्थ्यो अनि घरिघरि इट वुड जम्प इन द एयर है त्यो ब्यागमा चाहिँ घरि रोल हुन्थ्यो घरि उफ्रिन्थ्यो ब्याग अनि इट बिकम्स काइन्ड अफ एक्जिबिसन है त्यहाँ धेरै मान्छेहरू छ देहरादुनको प्लेटफर्ममा अनि त्यो प्लेटफर्मको लागि चाहिँ ठक्कै पर्दा उनीहरू चाहिँ के हो घरि यो पल्टिन्छ घरि उफ्रिन्छ भनेर उनीहरूको लागि एकदम के भयो एउटा एक्जिबिसन अथवा दृश्य हेर्ने दृश्य भयो भने remained in the bag as far as Saranpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave a ticket collector a white green. Okay, turnstile भनेको it's kind of gate, a mechanical gate consisting of revolving horizontal arms हुन्छ यो घुम्छ हैन अनि allowing only one person एकैजना मात्रै यो भनिन्छ प्रायः जस्तो रेलवे स्टेसन अनि इभन एयरपोर्टतिर you find this kind of turnstile भन्छ alright so Toto remained secure in grandfather's bag till Saranpur है अनि at the Saranpur railway station जब he went near turnstile यो turnstileमा he has to give a ticket है टिकट दिएर मात्रै उ छैन पाउँछ अनि when he was producing he was taking a ticket to give त्यति बेला चाहिँ टोटो सडनली पोक हिज हेड आउट उसको टाउको बाहिर निकाल्यो एन्ड गिभ अ टिकट कलेक्टर व्हाइट ग्रीन है एकदम ग्रीन भनेको हाँस्नु हैन एकदम हाँस्नु है अनि टिकट कलेक्टर टाउ त्यहाँ पुगेपछि टोटोले चाहिँ सडनली टाउको चाहिँ बाहिर निकालेर टिकट कलेक्टर लगाएर चट्टै गरेर हाँस्यो भन्दैछ The poor man was taken aback अब टिकट कलेक्टर देख्नु बित्तिकै he was instant अथवा he was छक्कै पर्यो दङ्ग पर्यो भन्दैछ है but with the great presence of mind and much to grandfather's annoyance he said sir you have a dog with you you will have to pay for it economically है एनोयन्स भनेको टु एङ्ग्री है अनि उसले एकदम त्यहाँदेखि त्यो छक्कै पऱ्यो देख्नु एक किसिमको है अनि एकदम फेरि उसले हि केम ब्याक एन्ड उसले भन्यो ग्रान्डफादरलाई भन्यो कि सर तपाईँकोमा कुकुर रहेछ अनि यु हेभ टु पे फर इट एकोर्डिङ कुकुरको चाहिँ अर्को फाल्टै भाडा लाग्छ त्यो चाहिँ तपाईँले दिनुपर्छ In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain did he try to prove that the monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as a quadruped. Toto was classified a dog by the ticket collector. 3 rupees was the sum handed over as his fare. Okay, vain भनेको an unsuccessful attempt. है quadruped भनेको animal which has 4 feet. Fare भनेको ticket price. So what happened? When ticket when the ticket collector said कि अब तपाईकोमा you have a dog so you have to pay extra भन्दाखेरि उसको बाउले टोटोलाई मङ्कीलाई बाहिरबाट निकाले ब्यागमा बाहिर निकालेर उसले he wanted to prove कि this is monkey not a dog अनि यो चाहिँ इभन यो quadruped अथवा चारखुट्टे एनिमल पनि होइन है तर टिकट कलेक्टर he didn't agreed with grandfather है अनि त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ उसले भने हैन यो टोटो चाहिँ तपाईको कुकुर जतिकै गनिन्छ भने हैन टिकट कलेक्टरले अनि त्यसको बदलीमा चाहिँ he has to pay extra fare है त्यो चाहिँ कति रुपैयाँ 3 रुपैयाँ Then grandfather, just to get his own bag, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, What must I pay for this, since you charge for animals? So the grandfather was very disappointed. Only to get his own bag to take revenge. So he was very disappointed and in order to get revenge, he took out tortoise from his pocket. है सानो टोटस निकाल्यो अनि व्हाट मस्ट आई पे फर दिस यसको लागि कति रुपैयाँ दिनु सिन्स यु चार्ज फर दि अल एनिमल्स सबै अब एनिमल्सको लागि चार्ज गर्छ यसको चाहिँ कति दिनु भनेर चाहिँ ग्रान्डफादरले सोधेछ द टिकट कलेक्टर लुक क्लोजली एट द टोटस prodded it with his forefinger, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look and said, No charge, it's not a dog. So prodded means pushed, triumphant is feeling or expression after a victory or achievement. जित्दाखेरि जुन प्रकारको expression also त्यसलाई triumphant हुन्छ okay so the ticket collector looks closely at the tortoise है एकदम निहालेर हेरेछ अनि prodded है prodded भनेको घोत्नु अथवा पुश गर्नु with his forefinger यसो पुश गरेछ अनि फादरलाई भनेछ कि no तपाईले you don't have to charge because this tortoise doesn't come under animals भनेर भन्छ When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable where he had for a companion the family donkey Nana. So finally, after some time, grandmother of we have a new pet in our house that is Toto company. Monkey and grandmother also accept accept and he was given a comfortable home and stable कुनै पनि we call it गाई बस्ने जुन के भन्छ गाई बस्ने गोठ है अनि घोडाहरु बस्ने गोठलाई चाहिँ we call it stable right so this stable मा उलाई ठाउँ दिएछ अनि त्यो stable मा चाहिँ उ मात्रै थिएन तर उसको एउटा साथी family को एउटा साथी थिएछ जो चाहिँ donkey है एउटा गधा थिएछ his name was Nana On Toto's first night in the stable grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable है अनि त्यो बेलुका फर्स्ट नाइट आज टोटो चाहिँ नानासँग सुत्दैछ सो कस्तो छ अब फर्स्ट नाइट चाहिँ के सुतेको सुतेन कि कम्फर्टेबल छ कि छैन भनेर his father went to see him to his surprise he found Nana without apparent cause pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from a bundle of hay okay so apparent means is understood अथवा clearly visible Okay, and halter is a rope, right? A strap or a loop placed around the head of the horse or the animal. जो animal जनावरलाई बाँध्ने जुन दोरी छ त्यसलाई halter भनिन्छ Okay, so त्यहाँ पुग्ने बित्तिकै एकदमै छक्कै परेछ है किनभने he found Nana without apparent cause without knowing anything है pulling at her halter उसले चाहिँ नानाले चाहिँ के he was pulling his rope and trying to keep his head as far as possible टाउको उता एकदम टाढो एकदम far as possible टाढो लगेर from the bundle of hay है hay भनेको घाँस अथवा सुक्खा घाँस परालको घाँसहरु हुन्छ त्यसलाई hay भनिन्छ है त्यो सुक्खा घाँसको जुन बन्डलबाट एकदम टाउको टाढो तानिरहेको थियो भन्दैछ Grandfather gave Nana a slap across her haunches and she jerked back, dragging Toto with her. He had fastened on her long ears with his sharp teeth. है hunches means back jerk भनेको move or cause move with the jerk है झट्का लाग्दाखेरि जुन ऊ हिन्छ अथवा मुभ गर्छ त्यसलाई jerk भन्छ dragging means to pull with difficulty कसैलाई घिसार्नु है ड्र्याग गर्दा एकदम अप्ठ्यारो पाराले with difficulty we what with घिसार्छ नि त हैन so dragging means घिसार्नु okay so grandfather छक्कै भयो Nana was trying to keep away his head as far as from the bundle of hay हैन अनि आफ्नो दोरिया ताना ताना त्यसो हुँदा चाहिँ grandfather gave Nana slap on her haunches है उसको पछाडी ढाडमा चाहिँ एकदम एक प्लाङ्गे गएछ है हिकाउँदा चाहिँ she jerked back देख्नु उ छट्ट गरेर त्यो ब्याक नै गर्नु बित्तिकै ऊ झर्केर उता गएछ है अनि त्यति गर्दा चाहिँ टोटोलाई पनि बाँदरलाई पनि उसले घिसारेछ भनेछ त्यसो किन घिसारेछ भन्दा चाहिँ he had fastened on her long ear with his sharp teeth नानाको कानमा लामा कानमा चाहिँ दाँत उयसको के भरे मङ्कीको अथवा टोटोको दाँत चाहिँ के थियो क्लोज भएको गाडिएको थियो है उसले सायद मेबी मङ्कीले त्यो मङ्कीले नानालाई अथवा डङ्कीलाई दाँतले उसको कानमा टोकिरहेको थियो होला है अनि त्यो कारणले टोटो त्यो टोकेर दाँतमा अल्झिरहेको थियो कानमै अल्झिरहेको थियो अनि कानमा अल्झिँदा चाहिँ नाना पर जग गरेर अथवा उता पर जाँदाखेरि उसले टोटोलाई पनि उसँगै के अरे घिसार्यो भन्दैछ टोटो एन्ड नाना नेभर बिकेम फ्रेन्ड्स है अनि टोटो र नाना चाहिँ कहिले पनि उनीहरू के भएन साथी भएन A great treat for Toto during cold winter evenings was the large bowl of warm water given him by the grandmother for his bath. Treat means to do or have something that gives one great pleasure. कसैको निम्ति हामीले आनन्द आउँछ कसैलाई केही गर्दा त्यसलाई चाहिँ के भन्छ ट्रिट भन्छ हैन अनि यहाँ चाहिँ के what the scientist is saying कि in the winter season when grandmother prepared a large bowl of warm water for his bath and Toto enjoyed having warm bath है उसलाई एकदम तातो पानीमा नुहाउन एकदमै मजा लाग्थ्यो भन्दैछ त्यो पनि कोल्ड विन्टर इभिनिङमा he would cunningly taste the temperature with his hand then gradually step into the bath first one foot then the other as he had seen me doing until he was into the water up to his neck okay cunningly means clever gradually means slowly बिस्तारै है एकदम पाले पिलो बिस्तारै so he would pretend to taste the temperature है एकदम with cunningly हैन अनि he would copy the writers है राइटरले जे गरेको छ नरेटरले जे गरेको छ त्यसरी उले कपी गर्दै he would step into the top from one foot and other foot एक खुट्टा लाउँदै then अर्को खुट्टा लाउँदै he would do that and finally he would sit in the water and he would sit in the water and with his face out of it है घाटी छ भने जब पानी आएपछि he would sit comfortably once comfortable he would take the soap in his hand or feet and rub himself all over है once त्यहाँ भित्र बसेर once he become comfortable तर उले बिस्तारै साबुन लियो अनि उसको हात खुट्टामा अनि उसको जिउभरि उले दल्ने गर्थे when the water became cold he would get out and run as quickly as he could to the kitchen fire in order to dry himself अनि त्यहाँ त्यसरी गर्दै बस्थ्यो अनि जसरी त्यो पानी चिसो हुन्थ्यो तब ठक्कै त्यो बोलबाट बाहिर निस्केर स्पिड किचनको आगोमा गएर चाहिँ एकदम छिटो जान्थ्यो भन्दैछ if anyone laughed at him during this performance Toto feelings would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath है अनि यो जुन सिनमा यो सिनियर छ यो सिनेमा कसैले उलाई हाँस्यो भने चाहिँ टोटो would feel very bad है अनि उलाई हर्ट हुन्थ्यो अनि हर्ट भएपछि नेक्स्ट टाइम चाहिँ नआउनु मान्थेन भन्दैछ one day Toto nearly succeeded in boiling himself alive है अनि एक दिन चाहिँ टोटोले झन्डै आफूलाई के गरे जिउँदै उमालेछ भन्दैछ A large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil for tea and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. है अनि एक समयमा चाहिँ अब के गरेछ भने चाहिँ किचनमा चाहिँ ठुलो कितलीमा केटलमा चाहिँ what they had do उनीहरूले एकदम आगो लगाएर चाहिँ पानी चाहिँ फर टी अनि टोटोलाई नुहाउन निम्ति उनीहरूले उमाल्दै थिएछ अब टोटोकोमा केही कामै छैन है he had nothing better to do भनेको उसँग केही कामै छैन सो ऊ चुपचाप गएर चाहिँ उले के गरेछ त्यो केटलको त्यो लिड छ त्यसलाई निकालेछ finding the water just warm enough for a bath he got in with his head sticking out from the open kettle है अनि यसो गरेर हात त्यसो छाम्दाखेरि मन तातो पायो हैन अनि देखेपछि उ चाहिँ के गर्यो त्यहाँभित्र स्वात्तै पसेछ अनि उले त्यो केटलको बाहिरबाट उले उसको टाउको निकालेर त्यहाँ बसेछ दिस वाज जस्ट फाइन फर अ while until water began to boil अब एकछिन बस्यो मजा आयो तातो र मुनि आगो लाग्दैछ है अनि बिस्तारै के हुन थाल्यो पानी बोइल हुन थाल्यो Toto then raised himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. है अनि त्यो तातो हुँदै गर्दाखेरि टोटो के गर्यो ऊ एकछिन बाहिर अब छोट्टै बाहिर निस्किँदा फेरि बाहिर के छ एकदमै चिसो छ चिसो हुनाले ऊ फेरि भित्र पसे भन्दैछ He continued hopping up and down for some time until grandmother arrived and hauled him half boiled out of the kettle. Hauled भनेको put him up है so उसले सट्टै बाहिर निस्किँदा जाडो हुन्छ जाडो भएपछि फेरि भित्र बस्दा के हुन्छ गरम हुन्छ गरम भएपछि फेरि जाडो निस्क्यो भित्र यो खालको हपिङ अप एन्ड डाउन है यो बाहिर उड्दै बस्दै एक दुई खेप गरेछ है अनि अचानक त्यति बेला ग्रान्डमदर आएछ अनि ग्रान्डमदर आएर देख्नु बित्तिकै उसलाई के गरेछ त्यहाँबाट उसलाई निकाल्नेछ है अनि त्यो निकाल्दा चाहिँ ही वाज हाफ बोइल्ड है कितलीबाट निकाल्दा चाहिँ त्यो टोटो वाज हाफ बोइल्ड If there is a part of the brain especially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. And here what narrator is saying if there is a part in our brain that governs our ability to create mischief, हाम्रो ब्रेनमा एउटा पार्ट होला जसले चाहिँ हामीलाई के गर्छ एउटा मिसचिफ गर्न लाउँछ त्यो पार्ट छ भने that part was highly developed in Toto's brain. He was always tearing things to pieces. उसले जहिले पनि उसले बदमासी मात्रै गर्छ उसले जुनै कुरा पनि उसले च्यापचुप पार्ने काम गर्छ Whenever one of my aunts came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. है अनि उसको जहिले पनि उसको उसको आन्टी छ घरमा आउँदैछ आएपछि टोटो छिटो उसको नजिक गएर है अनि उसको जसरी हुन्छ उसको साडी अथवा उसको कुनै पनि लुगा लगाएको छ त्यो लुगालाई एकदमै चलाएर उसले त्यसलाई धुलो पार्ने गर्थेछ One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of dining table. Again, the writer recollects another incident, right, when Toto created a lot of mischief. यहाँ चाहिँ के भन्दैछ भन्दा चाहिँ one day एक दिन चाहिँ lunch time मा a large dish of pulao चाहिँ उनीहरुको डाइनिङ सेन्टर अफ द डाइनिङ टेबलको बीचमा त्यो पलाउ राखेको थिएछ We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice है अनि जब सबैजना ल जुन खाना खाऊ भनेर भित्र जाँदा चाहिँ Toto is what is doing he is stuffing himself है उले एकदमै राइस चाहिँ उले खाँदै थियो स्टफिङ भने जुन हाल्नुलाई स्टफिङ भनिन्छ ओके My grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her अनि त्यो देख्नु बित्तिकै के गरे उसको ग्रान्डमदर she screamed उसलाई कराएछ अनि त्यो कराउनु बित्तिकै के गरे टोटो थ्रू अ प्लेट एट हर है उसकोपट्टि प्लेटमा फ्याँक्दैछ वन अफ माई आन्ट रस फरवर्ड है अनि त्यति नै बेला उसको एकजना आन्टी चाहिँ एकदम अगाडि गएछ एन्ड रिसिभ अ ग्लास अफ वाटर इन अ फेस अनि अगाडि जाँदाखेरि अन्डरमा टोटोले पानी हाल्दैछ है वेन ग्रान्डफादर अराइभ टोटो पिक अप द डिस अफ पुलाउ एन्ड मेड हिज एक्जिट थ्रु द विन्डो अनि त्यति नै बेला उसको ग्रान्डफादर एकदम हतार आउँदाखेरि टोटोले त्यो पलाउको डल्लै भाँडै लगेर चाहिँ विन्डोबाट थ्रु विन्डो गएछ We found him in the branches of jackfruit tree, the dish still in his arm. है अनि बाहिरबाट कहाँ गएर खोज्दा चाहिँ ऊ चाहिँ बाहिर ज्याकफ्रुट है अथवा रुख कटरमा ऊ माथि चढेर उसको हातमा चाहिँ अझै पनि त्यो डिस है अनि त्यहाँ पो बसिरहेको थिएछ He remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain है अनि ऊ दिनभरि होल आफ्टरनुन ती बसेछ है अनि बसेर बिस्तारै त्यो पिलो एभ्री दाना है त्यो राइसको एभ्री दाना चाहिँ उसले खानु थालेछ है अनि खाने विचारमा चाहिँ ऊ त्यहाँ दिनभरि बसेछ And then, in order to spite grandmother who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree. Spite भनेको desire to hurt or annoy or offend someone है अनि त्यो गरेपछि दिनभरि बसेछ अनि बसेपछि त्यहाँदेखि इन अर्डर टु स्पाइट अथवा इन अर्डर टु हर्ट ग्रान्डमदर है ग्रान्डमदर किनभने अगाडि उसलाई गाली गरे त्यो कराएको थियो त्यो कराएको सट्टामा चाहिँ उसलाई चाहिँ हर्ट गर्नको निम्ति ग्रान्डमदरलाई रिस उठाउनको निम्ति के गरेछ उसले त्यो डिस चाहिँ त्यो रुखदेखि तल झार्दैछ and chattered with delight when it broke into the 100 pieces. Chatter भनेको sound made by त्यो जुन मङ्कीको आवाज हुन्छ हाँसेको कि कराको त्यसलाई च्याटर भनिन्छ है अनि जब डिस माथिबाट फ्याँक्दियो है त्यो भाँडा फ्याँक्दाखेरि त्यो भाँडा चाहिँ भुइँमा झरेर चाहिँ 100 पिसेस भयो एकदम विशेष हुँदा चाहिँ एकदम मङ्की त्यो टोटो चाहिँ एकदम खुसीले के गर्नु थाले कराउन थाले भन्दैछ Obviously, Toto was not the sort of pet we could keep for long. Even grandfather realized that. So finally, all of them, along with his grandfather, realized that Toto was not suitable to be kept at home as a pet. We were not well-to-do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, cottons, and wallpaper. So they could not afford the frequent losses that Toto has made. होइन हिटो क्लोज उसले कटन सुज च्यात्ने गर्थ्यो वालपेपर है डिसहरू जो ब्रेक गर्नुहुन्थ्यो त्यसलाई चाहिँ त्यो लसलाई चाहिँ है त्यो लसलाई चाहिँ उनीहरूले त्यो भोग्नु चाहिँ सक्थेन भन्दैछ सो ग्रान्डफादर फाउन्ड द टोङ्गा डाइभर एन्ड सोल्ड टोटो ब्याक टु हिम फर only 3 rupees. So finally, grandfather sold Toto back to the टोङ्गा ड्राइभर फेरि टोङ्गा ड्राइभरलाई he sold back अनि त्यति बेला उसलाई चाहिँ कतिमा बेचेछ भन्दा चाहिँ खालि 3 रुपिसमा बेचेछ. Alright. So we have finished our lesson, The Adventure of Toto. Okay, so the writer, we came to know that the writer's grandfather liked to collect animals and had a zoo at home. So once he bought a monkey named Toto from Tonga Diver for a sum of 5 rupees. Toto was kept secretly as a grandmother disliked animals. Toto was very mischievous. When the writer and his grandfather hid the Toto in cupboard, he tied him in the hook. He broke the hook and caused havoc in the room. Okay, so next day when he was kept in the servant room along with other animals, he did not let them sleep all night. So we also read that grandfather had to go to Saranpur for work, so he decided to take monkey along with him. So he take the Toto in a strong bag made of canvas and closed the jeep nicely so that Toto could not escape. Right? And Toto made unsuccessful attempt to get out of the bag, which made his back jump and roll. Right? This aroused the curiosity of fellow passenger at the railway station. अनि बादमा when they were at Saranpur railway station अनि when grandfather was getting his ticket check, Toto picked out of his bag and smelled at the ticket collector. So ticket collector declared it was a dog. And grandfather had to pay rupees 3 for that Toto. So finally, Toto was accepted by grandmother. It was given in the place in stable along with donkey named Nana. And again, the Toto did not get along with Nana. They never became friends. So we also learned that Toto enjoyed taking bath in warm winter with warm water during winter season. So one day he almost boiled himself when he jumped into the kettle of boiling water. Alright, so lastly, in one incident, Toto ate the family meal of palau. And not only that, he threw the empty dishes from the tray and broke into several pieces. So Toto's mischief grew day by day. And finally, the grandfather and all of them realized that they could not keep him at home. So finally, the grandfather found the same Tonga diver and he sold Toto back him for the sum of 3 rupees. Okay, so this is your story. So you have some questions, so kindly do that one and send it me in my personal WhatsApp. Right? And until then, stay safe, maintain social distance, and keep yourself clean and healthy. Alright, so take care. Thank you.